The starship Phantom Weave hung silent in the vast emptiness of space, its quantum camouflage systems rendering it invisible to all known tracking technologies. Soft blue bioluminescent panels cast a cool glow across the ship's interior, reflecting off the metallic surfaces and the multiple holographic displays that surrounded the central command chair. Krelax adjusted his neural interface, the intricate biomechanical tendrils connecting his consciousness to the ship's advanced systems. 17 standard galactic cycles had passed since the contract was first issued, and each moment had been a testament to growing frustration. The target remained infuriatingly alive, defying every known elimination protocol in the Syndicate's extensive database. "Bring up the comprehensive file," he commanded, his voice a low resonant click that translated perfectly through the ship's communication systems. The holographic display materialized, showing a single human female. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, 36 standard years old, principal research scientist at the New Denver Colonial Research Institute. Her file was unlike any the Syndicate had encountered before, not because of extraordinary physical capabilities, but because of something far more dangerous: adaptive intelligence. Krelax studied the mission logs, his multiple eyes processing information at speeds that would overwhelm most biological systems. Each failed attempt told a story more complex than a simple elimination contract. The first mission had involved a neural disruption agent, so potent it could liquefy the brain stems of over 2,673 known sentient species within milliseconds of contact. Dr. Rodriguez had not only survived, but had spent the following 3 standard cycles analyzing the compound's molecular structure. The second attempt involved a quantum phase disruptor designed to dissolve organic matter at the subatomic level. Sophisticated enough to eliminate matter without leaving a trace, it had been the Syndicate's most advanced weapon. Deployed with precision by a team of ghost operatives who could phase through solid matter, it should have been undetectable and instantaneous. Instead, the Doctor had redirected its energy using nothing more than laboratory equipment and what appeared to be remarkable improvisational skills. Krelax's neural interface pulsed with a combination of frustration and reluctant admiration. The Syndicate prided itself on a perfect elimination record spanning thousands of galactic cycles. Contracts were not just completed, they were executed with such precision that targets never saw them coming. Until now. The ship's advanced communication systems chirped softly. A new data packet arrived from the Syndicate's Central Intelligence Hub. Krelax processed the information, his multiple sensory organs absorbing every nuance. The contract remained active. But something had changed. The recent mission logs revealed a pattern that went beyond simple survival. Dr. Rodriguez wasn't just avoiding elimination. She was systematically turning each assassination attempt into a scientific breakthrough. The neural disruption agent she had analyzed. It had led to a breakthrough in neurological trauma treatment. The quantum disruptor incident had resulted in a new energy transformation technology that could revolutionize power generation for resource-poor colonies. Impossible, Krelax muttered, though the word carried more complexity in his native language. A mixture of respect, frustration, and emerging curiosity. The ship's artificial intelligence, a quantum-level consciousness far beyond traditional computational systems, chimed in. Probability of successful elimination: 0.3%, it reported, its voice a neutral frequency that carried no emotion. Krelax knew the statistics. He had reviewed them countless times. Each attempt had not only failed, but had provided the target with additional research material. It was as if the assassination attempts were inadvertently funding the most comprehensive research project in recent galactic history. Something would have to change. The quantum camouflaged ship drifted silently, a predator waiting, calculating. Dr. Rodriguez might have survived 17 attempts, but the Shadowcrest Elimination Guild did not accept failure. Not now. Not ever. This would be their 18th attempt. And this time, they would be prepared. The research facility hummed with a quiet intensity that belied the extraordinary events of the past standard cycle. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat at her primary workstation, a holographic display dancing with complex molecular structures and biochemical analysis charts. Her fingers moved with practiced precision, filtering through data streams that would overwhelm most computational systems. Outside the reinforced windows, New Denver Colony stretched into the distance, a testament to human adaptability. Terraformed landscapes merged with advanced technological infrastructure, creating an environment that was both natural and engineered. The facility itself stood as a beacon of scientific innovation, its exterior a blend of organic curves and metallic precision. Elena reviewed the latest data from the neural disruption toxin incident. Most researchers would have been traumatized by an assassination attempt. She saw it as the most comprehensive chemical analysis opportunity of her career. The toxin was a marvel of biochemical engineering. Developed by the Zenfar Molecular Weapons Consortium, it had been designed to target the neural pathways of sentient beings with terrifying precision. Its molecular structure was a complex lattice of synthetic neurotoxins that could penetrate virtually any known biological defense mechanism, except, apparently, human biology. Her initial analysis revealed something remarkable. The toxin's molecular bonds, so carefully constructed to break down neural networks, encountered an unexpected resistance in human cellular structures. What should have been an instantaneous neural collapse became a complex interaction that her body not only resisted but began to understand. Fascinating, she muttered, rotating a three-dimensional molecular model. The facility's senior research assistant, Dr. Michael Chen, approached with a steaming cup of synthesized coffee. "Another late night?" he asked, noting the multiple holographic displays surrounding her workstation. Elena smiled, her eyes never leaving the molecular simulation. Each attempt provides more data. The biochemical defense mechanisms we're uncovering could revolutionize medical treatments across multiple species. What the assassination attempts failed to understand was the fundamental nature of human scientific curiosity. Where others saw a threat, Elena saw an opportunity for understanding. The first toxin attempt had occurred 3 standard cycles ago, a precision-engineered compound delivered through an almost undetectable molecular transmission system. It should have liquefied her neural pathways within milliseconds of contact. Instead, her body had begun to analyze the compound even as it attempted to break down her cellular structure. Her research team had been initially skeptical. Xenobiological defense mechanisms were complex, but this went beyond standard adaptive responses. The toxin didn't just fail to kill her, it provided a comprehensive blueprint of its own molecular structure. Dr. Chen brought up additional data streams. "The protein folding patterns are unlike anything we've seen," he observed. "It's almost as if your immune response is learning and adapting in real time." Elena nodded. The human body had always been a marvel of adaptive complexity. Generations of evolutionary pressure, combined with advanced medical technologies, had created a biological system that was more than just a collection of cells and neural networks. It was a learning system. The facility's advanced scanning equipment continued to process the toxin samples. Multiple redundant systems cross-referenced the data, creating a comprehensive analysis that would take most research institutes' standard cycles to complete. "We're not just defending," Elena explained to her colleague. "We're understanding. Each attack provides more data about interspecies biochemical interactions than decades of peaceful research could have accomplished." The irony was not lost on her. The very entities attempting to eliminate her were inadvertently funding the most comprehensive xenobiological research project in recent galactic history. Outside, the artificial night of the colony began to settle. Bioluminescent infrastructure glowed softly, creating a landscape that was both alien and familiar. Distant research stations dotted the horizon, each a beacon of human scientific ambition. Dr. Rodriguez continued her work, the molecular simulation dancing before her eyes. Another day of survival. Another day of discovery. The assassination attempts would continue. And so would her research. The Galactic Research Consortium's primary conference chamber was a marvel of architectural engineering. Suspended kilometers above the surface of a carefully terraformed moon, The chamber featured walls of transparent metamaterial that shifted between opacity and complete transparency. Today, those walls showed a panoramic view of swirling cosmic dust and distant stellar formations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a panel of the most distinguished xenobiological researchers from 18 different star systems. Her presentation flickered to life, a comprehensive analysis of adaptive defense mechanisms that challenged everything they thought they knew about biological resilience. The quantum phase disruptor incident provides unprecedented insights, she began, her voice calm and measured. A holographic display materialized, showing molecular interactions that seemed to defy conventional scientific understanding. The representatives from various alien civilizations shifted uncomfortably. Some had multiple appendages that twitched with barely contained scientific excitement. Others maintained rigid postures that betrayed millennia of controlled evolutionary development. Dr. Zinrak, a senior researcher from the Crystalline Confederation, leaned forward. His silicon-based body refracted light in complex patterns that mirrored his intellectual engagement. Your analysis suggests that human biological systems do more than adapt. They transform. Elena nodded. The quantum phase disruptor had been designed to dissolve organic matter at the subatomic level, a weapon so advanced it could theoretically unmake living tissue in less than a microsecond. Most species would have been eliminated before they could even comprehend the attack. But humans were different. Her presentation showed how the disruptor's energy had been not just deflected, but redirected. The molecular analysis revealed a process that was part biological response, part technological innovation. Human cells had somehow created a temporary energy redirection field that transformed the weapon's destructive potential into a sustainable power generation system. It's not just about survival, Elena explained. It's about opportunity. Each attack provides a dataset more valuable than decades of traditional research. The conference chamber fell silent. Representatives from the quantum diplomatic court exchanged meaningful glances. The implications were profound. A species that could turn weapons into scientific breakthroughs was not just resilient, it was fundamentally unpredictable. Dr. Chen, her research partner, brought up additional data streams. Molecular diagrams danced across the holographic displays, showing complex interactions that seemed to blur the line between biological response and technological innovation. Our preliminary research suggests that human cellular structures contain adaptive algorithms that go beyond traditional immune responses, he said. We're seeing real-time molecular reconfiguration that adapts faster than any known biological system. The Crystalline Confederation representatives' refraction patterns indicated extreme interest. Explain, he demanded. Elena pulled up a series of comparative charts. Most species have fixed defense mechanisms. Detect a threat. Respond with a predetermined protocol. Our research shows that human cells don't just respond. They learn. Each interaction becomes data. Each attack becomes an opportunity for innovation. The quantum phase disruptor incident was just one example. The weapon designed to dissolve her molecular structure had been transformed into a breakthrough energy generation technology. Preliminary tests showed it could provide sustainable power for entire colonial systems with minimal infrastructure. We're not just surviving, Elena said, her voice carrying a quiet intensity. We're evolving in real time. The conference chamber buzzed with a mixture of fear, excitement, and profound scientific curiosity. These alien researchers were witnessing something unprecedented. A species that didn't just adapt to challenges, but fundamentally transformed them. Dr. Zinrak's crystalline structure shifted, a gesture that in his species indicated deep intellectual respect. Your civilization is not just a biological entity, he observed. It's a living, adaptive system. As the presentation concluded, the implications hung in the air. The assassination attempts meant to eliminate a single researcher had instead provided a comprehensive blueprint of human potential. Outside the conference chamber, the cosmic dust continued to swirl. Distant stars pulsed with ancient light. Humanity's greatest strength was becoming clear. They didn't just survive. They reimagined survival itself. The stealth drone descended through the atmosphere, its quantum camouflage systems rendering it invisible to conventional detection methods. Designed by the most advanced technological minds in the Vortex Collective, it represented the pinnacle of infiltration technology. Silent, undetectable, deadly. Inside the new Denver Colonial Research Facility, Dr. Elena Rodriguez continued her work, seemingly unaware of the approaching threat. Krulax watched the mission feed from the Phantom Weave, his multiple sensory organs processing every microscopic detail. This would be the 18th attempt. This time, they had accounted for every possible variable. The drone carried a payload of molecular disruptors, neural inhibitors, and adaptive tracking systems that could penetrate any known defensive technology. What the Vortex Collective failed to understand was the fundamental nature of human psychological response. Most species approached threats with predictable patterns. Panic, freeze, attempt to escape. Each response created vulnerabilities that skilled elimination experts could exploit. Humans, however, operated on an entirely different wavelength. The drone entered the facility's outer perimeter. Its advanced sensors began mapping internal structures, identifying potential elimination vectors. A perfect infiltration was moments away. Dr. Rodriguez looked up from her workstation, her eyes focusing on a holographic display. For a fraction of a second, her fingers paused over the molecular simulation she had been analyzing. Then she smiled. Krulax watched in growing confusion as the drone's mission parameters began to shift. Instead of maintaining its covered approach, the machine suddenly began performing a series of complex navigational maneuvers. Its sensors, designed for precision targeting, now swept the facility's research spaces with what could only be described as curiosity. Recalibration sequence initiated, the facility's security system announced in a calm voice. Within moments, the stealth drone was no longer a weapon. It had become a mapping device, systematically documenting unexplored regions of the research facility. Its advanced sensors, meant to identify fatal vulnerabilities, now created the most comprehensive three-dimensional survey of the facility's internal structure. Dr. Chen looked up from his workstation. "Interesting," he muttered, watching the drone's unexpected behavior. Elena Rodriguez continued her work, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. To an outside observer, she appeared completely unperturbed by the presence of an advanced infiltration device. The psychological warfare protocols of the Vortex Collective relied on inducing fear, creating panic, exploiting perceived weaknesses. But humans had developed a response that went beyond traditional threat assessment. They transformed threats into opportunities. The drone completed its survey, its advanced AI having documented every microscopic detail of the research facility. Corridors, research spaces, equipment configurations. What should have been a precision elimination mission had become the most comprehensive technological survey in recent galactic history. Krulax's neural interface pulsed with a combination of frustration and emerging respect. The mission logs would be impossible to explain to the Shadowcrest Elimination Guild. How did one report a failure when the target had effectively repurposed an advanced weapon into a research tool? Fascinating, Elena muttered, reviewing the drone's collected data. The quantum mapping resolution is significantly higher than our previous surveys. Dr. Chen approached, reviewing the unexpected data stream. "I don't think they meant this to happen," he said with a slight smile. The drone, its mission completely subverted, continued to transmit its collected information. Advanced sensors that were meant to identify fatal vulnerabilities now provided unprecedented research insights. Outside, the artificial landscape of New Denver Colony continued its steady progression. Bioluminescent infrastructure glowed softly, a testament to human technological adaptation. Another assassination attempt had failed. Another scientific breakthrough had emerged. Humanity's greatest weapon was not its technology. It was its ability to see opportunity where others saw only threat. The molecular disassembler hung suspended in the advanced containment chamber, its intricate quantum phase mechanisms gleaming under carefully calibrated diagnostic lights. Designed by the most advanced weapons engineers in the quantum syndicate, It represented the pinnacle of targeted elimination technology. Dr. Elena Rodriguez studied the device with an intensity that both fascinated and unnerved her research team. "Fascinating," she muttered, her fingers dancing across a holographic interface that dissected the weapon's complex molecular structure. Each scan revealed layers of technological complexity that most species would approach with fear. Elena approached it with pure scientific curiosity. Dr. Michael Chen approached, holding a thermal coffee synthesizer. "Another late night?" he asked, observing the multiple analysis streams surrounding the disassembler. Elena nodded, her eyes never leaving the complex technological marvel. "This device was designed to break down organic matter at the subatomic level," she explained. "Most species would see a weapon. I see an unprecedented research opportunity." The molecular disassembler represented a quantum leap in elimination technology. Its core mechanism could theoretically dissolve organic matter faster than the human nervous system could register pain. Molecular bonds would be systematically broken, reducing living tissue to its most basic atomic components in less than a microsecond. But humans were different. The initial tests had been shocking. Instead of dissolving her cellular structure, the device had encountered a series of adaptive responses that defied every known scientific protocol. Her body's cellular structure didn't just resist the disassembler, it began to understand it. "Look at the quantum resonance patterns," Elena said, bringing up a series of complex holographic displays. Dr. Chen leaned in, his eyes widening. The disassembler's energy had been completely redirected. What should have been a precision elimination device was now generating a form of sustainable energy that could power entire colonial infrastructure systems. The molecular breakdown mechanisms had been transformed into an advanced power generation technology. "It's not destruction," Elena explained. "It's transformation." The research facility's advanced scanners continued to process the device. Multiple redundant systems cross-referenced the data, creating a comprehensive analysis that would take most research institutes' standard cycles to complete. Outside, the artificial night of the New Denver colony began to settle. Bioluminescent infrastructure glowed softly, creating a landscape that was both alien and familiar. Distant research stations dotted the horizon, each a beacon of human scientific ambition. Krillax, monitoring from the Phantom Weave, watched the mission logs with growing frustration. The molecular disassembler had been the Quantum Syndicate's most advanced weapon, capable of eliminating targets across multiple dimensional planes. Undetectable, instantaneous, except when used against humans. The mission logs defied explanation. The weapon designed to eliminate Dr. Rodriguez had instead provided a comprehensive blueprint for a revolutionary energy generation system. Preliminary tests showed it could provide sustainable power for entire colonial systems with minimal infrastructure. "Impossible," the ship's artificial intelligence reported, its voice a neutral frequency that carried no emotion. "Probability of intended outcome, 0.1%. Dr. Chen brought up additional data streams. "The energy transformation patterns are unlike anything we've seen," he observed. "It's as if the device is learning and adapting in real time." Elena nodded. The human approach to technology had always been about potential. Where other species saw fixed systems, humans saw malleable opportunities. Each technological challenge was an invitation to reimagine possibility. The molecular disassembler continued to pulse with transformed energy, a weapon of destruction converted into a beacon of potential. Another assassination attempt had failed. Another scientific breakthrough had emerged. Humanity's greatest strength was becoming clear. They didn't just survive technological challenges. They reimagined them entirely. The Galactic Research Archives occupied a massive spherical structure orbiting a carefully preserved neutron star. Constructed from materials that could withstand extreme dimensional pressures, the archives contained the collective scientific knowledge of over 300 sentient civilizations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a panel of the most distinguished interdimensional researchers, her presentation about to challenge everything they thought they knew about technological adaptation. The central chamber hummed with anticipation. Holographic interfaces shimmered around her, displaying layers of complex data that seemed to dance with living complexity. Representatives from multiple star systems watched with a mixture of scientific curiosity and growing unease. The assassination attempts, Elena began, her voice calm and precise, are not just attacks. They are the most comprehensive research grant in galactic history. Dr. Xinlar, a senior researcher from the Crystalline Confederation, leaned forward. His silicon-based body refracted light in complex patterns that mirrored his intellectual engagement. "Explain," he demanded, his translation matrix rendering the word as both a command and a profound scientific inquiry. Elena's presentation unveiled the true nature of her research. Each elimination attempt had provided unprecedented insights into interspecies technological adaptation. The neural toxins, quantum disruptors, and molecular disassemblers were not just weapons. They were keys to understanding the fundamental nature of technological resilience. Most species approach technology as a fixed system, she explained. Humans see it as a living, adaptive organism. The holographic displays showed a comprehensive timeline. 17 distinct assassination attempts. 17 unique scientific breakthroughs. Each weapon intended to eliminate her had instead provided critical research data that could revolutionize multiple scientific disciplines. Dr. Michael Chen stood nearby, managing the complex data streams. Our research suggests that human cellular and cognitive systems don't just adapt, he added. They transform technological challenges at a fundamental level. The Archive's main computational system began processing the data. Advanced algorithms designed to analyze millions of scientific papers per microsecond struggled to categorize Elena's findings. It was as if her research existed in a category beyond current scientific understanding. Krillax, monitoring from the Phantom Weave, watched the proceedings with a growing sense of something beyond frustration. Respect seemed too simple a word. The elimination mission had become something far more complex. The neural toxin developed by the Zenfar Molecular Weapons Consortium, Elena continued, has provided breakthrough treatments for neural degenerative conditions affecting 17 different sentient species. The quantum disruptor, now a revolutionary power generation technology that could transform resource-poor colonies. The molecular disassembler, an advanced medical scanning system with capabilities that exceeded current xenobiological research methods. Dr. Xinlar's crystalline structure shifted, a gesture that in his species indicated profound intellectual recalibration. You are not just surviving, he observed. You are evolving in real time. Elena nodded. Survival is not the goal. Understanding is. The research archives seemed to pulse with a new kind of energy. Centuries of collected scientific knowledge were being challenged by a single researcher and her unprecedented approach to technological interaction. Outside the chamber, the neutron star continued its ancient dance. Massive gravitational forces generated complex energy patterns that mirrored the intellectual complexity happening within the archives. Dr. Chen brought up additional data streams. Comparative charts showed how human technological interaction differed fundamentally from every other known sentient species. Where others saw barriers, humans saw opportunities. Where others encountered threats, humans found innovation. The assassination attempts, Elena concluded, are the most comprehensive research initiative in galactic history. The chamber fell silent. Representatives from multiple star systems exchanged meaningful glances. The implications were profound. A species that could turn elimination attempts into scientific breakthroughs was not just resilient. It was fundamentally unpredictable. Humanity's greatest weapon was not its technology. It was its ability to see potential where others saw only limitation. The Quantum Diplomatic Court headquarters orbited a carefully preserved neutron star, its massive structure a testament to intergalactic architectural engineering. Transparent metamaterial walls offered a panoramic view of cosmic landscapes, while inside, the most critical diplomatic negotiations in recent galactic history were about to begin. Krillax stood before the assembled representatives, his neural interface pulsing with a complex mixture of emotions that translated poorly across species boundaries. The mission logs from 17 assassination attempts lay before them, each a chronicle of inexplicable failure. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, he began, his translation matrix rendering his words with clinical precision, represents a fundamental challenge to our understanding of biological and technological adaptation. The chamber fell silent. Representatives from 18 different star systems leaned forward, their various physiological configurations suggesting a mixture of fear, curiosity, and emerging respect. The holographic displays came to life, showing a comprehensive analysis of the attempted eliminations. Each attempt had not only failed, but had provided Dr. Rodriguez's research team with unprecedented scientific insights. The neural toxins developed to dissolve her neural pathways now promised breakthrough treatments for multiple species. The quantum disruptors intended to eliminate her had become revolutionary power generation technologies. Dr. Xinlar from the Crystalline Confederation shifted his silicon-based body, a gesture of profound intellectual recalibration. These are not just failed missions, he observed. They are the most comprehensive research initiative in recent galactic history. The implications were staggering. A species that could transform elimination attempts into scientific breakthroughs challenged every known protocol of interspecies interaction. Humans were not just surviving. They were reimagining the very concept of technological engagement. Dr. Michael Chen's research presentation continued, revealing layers of complexity that defied conventional scientific understanding. The human cellular structure didn't just adapt. It learned. It transformed. Each technological challenge became an opportunity for unprecedented discovery. Our research suggests, Chen explained, that human biological and cognitive systems operate on principles that go beyond current scientific classification. Krelax reviewed the mission logs again. The molecular disassembler designed to break down organic matter at the subatomic level had become an advanced medical scanning system. The stealth drone meant to infiltrate and eliminate had produced the most comprehensive technological survey in recent galactic history. The diplomatic representatives exchanged meaningful glances. This was more than a failed elimination mission. This was a fundamental reassessment of an entire species' potential. We are not dealing with a target, Krelax concluded, but with a living, adaptive research system that transforms technological challenges at a fundamental level. The neutron star outside pulsed with massive gravitational forces, its complex energy patterns mirroring the intellectual complexity of the moment. Humanity had demonstrated something unprecedented, the ability to turn potential destruction into unprecedented scientific opportunity. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's research had become more than an individual scientific pursuit. It was a comprehensive blueprint for interspecies technological engagement. The Shadowcrest Elimination Guild's perfect record had been shattered, but something far more important had emerged. A new understanding of technological potential. A species that didn't just survive challenges. A species that reimagined them entirely. The diplomatic chamber continued to process the implications. Outside, the cosmic dust swirled. Distant stars pulsed with ancient light. Humanity had just changed the rules of engagement, and the universe would never be the same. The Shadowcrest Elimination Guild's primary communication hub stretched across multiple dimensional planes, a testament to technological sophistication that had remained unbroken for thousands of galactic cycles. Today, that perfection would be challenged. Krelax stood before the Central Council, the mission logs from 17 failed attempts projected in holographic displays that seemed to pulse with living complexity. Representatives from multiple star systems watched with a mixture of growing unease and emerging respect. "The contract is withdrawn," he announced, his voice a precise translation that carried layers of meaning beyond simple language. The council chamber fell silent. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's transmission appeared, not a threat, not a warning, but an invitation, a clinical, almost academic proposal for collaborative research that would reshape the understanding of interspecies technological engagement. The holographic displays revealed the full extent of the research derived from the assassination attempts. Each weapon intended to eliminate her had instead provided critical scientific breakthroughs. The neural toxin developed by the Xinthar Molecular Weapons Consortium now promised treatments for neural degenerative conditions affecting 17 different sentient species. The quantum disruptor had become a revolutionary power generation technology capable of transforming resource-poor colonies. The molecular disassembler now served as an advanced medical scanning system with capabilities that exceeded current xenobiological research methods. Dr. Xinlar from the Crystalline Confederation leaned forward, his silicon-based body refracting light in complex patterns that mirrored intellectual engagement. "Explain," he demanded, the word carrying both scientific curiosity and profound respect. Alina's research presentation unveiled a comprehensive blueprint of human potential. Most species approach technology as a fixed system. Humans saw it as a living, adaptive organism. "Survival is not the goal," she explained. "Understanding is." The communication hub's advanced computational systems struggled to categorize the data. It was as if her research existed in a category beyond current scientific understanding. Dr. Michael Chen stood nearby, managing the complex data streams. "Our research suggests that human cellular and cognitive systems don't just adapt," he added. "They transform technological challenges at a fundamental level." Outside, the artificial landscape of New Denver Colony continued its steady progression. Bioluminescent infrastructure glowed softly, a testament to human technological adaptation. Krillax reviewed the mission logs one final time. The elimination mission had become something far more complex than a simple contract. What began as an attempt to remove a single target had instead provided the most comprehensive research initiative in galactic history. The diplomatic representatives exchanged meaningful glances. The implications were profound. A species that could turn elimination attempts into scientific breakthroughs was not just resilient. It was fundamentally unpredictable. The Shadowcrest Elimination Guild's perfect record had been shattered. But something far more important had emerged. A new understanding of technological potential. A species that didn't just survive challenges. A species that reimagined them entirely. Alina's final transmission hung in the communication space. It was an invitation, not just to cease hostilities, but to collaborate, to understand, to explore the vast potential that existed between different species. The neutron star outside continued its ancient dance. Massive gravitational forces generated complex energy patterns that mirrored the intellectual complexity of the moment. Humanity had just changed the rules of engagement, and the universe would never be the same. In the end, the most powerful weapon was not technology. It was the ability to see potential where others saw only limitation. The contract was withdrawn. Some targets, they realized, were better left alive.